Ken Rashad, TSPNSports.com. I'm on the phone right now with Prairie View A&M Athletic Director Fred Washington. Mr. Washington, thank you, sir, for taking a moment to talk with me on the phone about the State Fair Classic.
Sure.
I'm on record discussing the issue related to the State Fair Classic and the circus-like environment going back to 2007. And since that time, things with this game have progressively gotten so bad to where this past year it has prompted John Posey of Urban Sports News to talk about it publicly, and it has even had an impact on the field with the players, according to your very own football coach, Heish Northern. I'm sure you're probably aware of this at this point, but what are your thoughts concerning the environment of the State Fair Classic?
Well, we here, and from the administrative side of the house, this is probably the first year we've gotten some public calls on it. Obviously, the whole State Fair and that whole environment is a little different than the environment we come in contact with on our campus and on some of the other campuses, as it's a pretty big venue. I hadn't talked directly to the coach about the impact that it has had, but if it had one, that'd be the first time it impacted the game. I could understand that, from the vantage point of how we run a no-huddle offense, and there's a lot of intricacies in communication, so I could see that happening. But it is definitely a different environment than we're normally accustomed to playing in.
Have you had a chance to communicate with Al Walsh, who is the promoter with ALW Entertainment, since the end of the game?
No, you know what? After that game, we've been on the road every weekend, starting with that weekend, and our bye week isn't until next week. So normally, what we do with the State Fair game is about 60 days after we sit down for a full review and a recap. That kind of gives the fans, the media like yourself and others, a chance to give us some feedback and input on everything, as opposed to meeting right away, and details and information is still coming in. But we do have like I said, about 60 days after the game each year, we have a wrap-up meeting, because as you know, it's listed as a 3-party game, but it's actually a 4-party, because we're partners with the city of Dallas down there too in the whole thing. So it takes a little while for all that information to flow up.
Right, and that is something that we pointed out when we received the documents concerning all of the parties involved with this particular event. There is obviously the agreement between Prairie View and Grambling and the State Fair the State Fair of Texas, associated with actually leasing the Cotton Bowl, and then there's the actual separate agreement that is between Prairie View and Grambling and ALW Entertainment. And with that said, and correct me if I'm wrong, but according to those documents, it indicates that this is the final year of the existing contract between Prairie View, Grambling, and ALW Entertainment, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Well, I'm almost certain. I'd have to check, but I think we redid all of those agreements not long ago, and I think it was 2015. Those things normally run concurrent with the agreement with the facility. Okay. And I think the State Fair processed something last year, if not the year before. It kind of gets muddy in terms of when those things are done. But I think they go through 2015. Okay,
so to make sure that we're clear, so you're saying that the existing contract that you have right now with ALW Entertainment runs through 2015 and not through 2013, because, and I want to be clear on this, because we are aware that the Cotton Bowl contract is in effect through 2015. But you're saying that in addition to that, the existing promotions agreement between Prairie View, Grambling, and ALW Entertainment runs through 2015 as well. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that it does. They like I said, they're tied together. I don't have that agreement right in front of me, but we'd be hard pressed to let an agreement expire without having already entered into considerations on how we'd move forward with a game of that magnitude.
I see.
That's probably our single largest, at least in terms of attendance and market interest. That's probably our single largest game. Now, let me say that it is a 3-party contract between ALW, Prairie View, and Grambling.
Right.
But it is a regularly scheduled conference game.
Okay. And but at the end of, and with that said, at the end of the day, it is literally Grambling and Prairie View's game to pretty much do whatever they see fit, right? I mean,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Given the fact that you've got this meeting coming up, who typically is going to be involved with that? Will that be a meeting with you and the athletic director, I guess Aaron James at Grambling, along with the promoter? Who's typically a part of that meeting? Is it those three people?
Yeah. ALW himself, his representatives, the Grambling staff, and the Prairie View staff. We normally meet in Dallas to recap the game. It's not a fixed group of representatives, but it's pretty much always, the ticket manager staff, the promotions and marketing staff from both schools, and the athletic directors from both schools.
Okay.
Sometimes, depending on exactly when we have it, one of the university finance people from either of the schools may come as well. But the core group is the athletic department from Grambling and the athletic department from Prairie View, and then representatives from ALW.
Okay. Given your knowledge with the history of this game from a financial standpoint, what typically, and I understand that there are a lot of variables that go into actual payouts, but what has been the average range in terms of financial payouts that your institution and Grambling have received from this game in recent years?
It's different from year to year. We had a rain year, either last year or the year before, that brought the payout down probably to just under $200K. Mm-hmm. Other than that, we've been above that, which is our gentleman's agreement as a conference is that when we take contract games, we try to stay at 250 or above. Sure, we negotiate that, and there are circumstances in which we have gone below that. Not just Prairie View, but any school has. But we try to stay, as long as the contract is in that range, we're comfortable. And the state fair as a conference game has been that. We don't traditionally, from our regular conference games, are not generating $250,000 per school. So.
Sure. And the last thought with the State Fair Classic, and again, given that you guys being Grambling and Prairie View, you obviously have a long-standing relationship with ALW Entertainment, and I guess no one is necessarily making the recommendation that the game be moved or anything like that. However, individuals on my website have been very vocal in saying that at the very least, you might need to get rid of the promoter, and I will say that even I am on record as saying that. Is it possible or even likely that the institutions would even consider the option of maybe a new promoter, or is that something that's unlikely at this point?
Well, I don't want to speak for Grambling, but we look at things from the perspective of what's in the best interest of the game of the schools. If there was a situation that we believed that we'd have a better opportunity for the game and for our fans and supporters to do something else, we definitely entertain that. We get calls and contacted all the time. We've probably in the last 2 years received 5 or 6 calls from different agencies requesting or asking us if we would be interested in moving just up the road to Cowboy Stadium.
Uh-huh.
Now, we have had for quite some time a good relationship with the State Fair. It's a great venue for us and for our fans. But with all things, it's about what makes the best sense at that time.
I understand.
This game has made Dallas, for us, one of our best recruiting markets for students in general, and we're very happy in the Dallas market. But again, with that said, if circumstances showed us that in that venue or any venue that there was a better opportunity for us and for this game, we'd be open to talk about it. And I don't think that Mr. Wash or the representatives from Grambling would say anything different. There are, in all major venues and major activities, there are aspects of it that you want to change, you wish you could do different, or you want to do different. And definitely we try to take every year and learn from it. I'll say honestly that, most times at the game, either I'm down near where I can pay attention to the operations, or I'm upstairs in the press box where, sound is muffled and differently than what it is when you're out on the stand.
Yes.
And then the experience that you have on the home side and on the visitor side is quite different as well. So we alternate sides from year to year. we as a program and as an institution have not had a bad experience in the state fair or with the game.
I see.
But we like you probably have heard from our fans that there were some distractions to actually focusing on the game this year, and we will address those in the meeting.
Since we're talking about classics, I'd be remiss not to bring up the fact that coming up later on this month will be the second straight year, if I'm not mistaken, that Prairie View will be playing in Shreveport this year against Jackson State in the Shreveport Classic. That typically would be a home game for Prairie View, but tell us what led to the decision to move this game to Shreveport, and is this something that you're going to be continuing in years to come?
Well, first, thank you for the opportunity to talk about that and to talk about our game for a little while. How we first got there, we've been wrestling with the issue for several years on our Southern and our Jackson game and bringing them to town and where we'll play those games, because the attendance at those games exceeds the capacity on our campus. Mm-hmm. When we start out the year each year, normally we play Texas Southern in the Reliant for the very same reasons.
Right.
The school had a facility that could accommodate, the 25,000 or so fans that come to the game. We started looking for ways to accommodate that game, get away from high school venues as best as we could, and at the same time market our program in areas where we're not that strong, from a recruiting standpoint. And so we had a couple of options. We met with officials and administrators from that area. You may recall that that year or the year before, preceding our game last year, we went to the championship game,
right.
and the conference was actually finalizing a relationship with the city of Shreveport to take our basketball tournament there.
Uh-huh.
So we met, my staff and I had the opportunity to meet with some of the Shreveport administrators that day, and they really were looking for ways to expose their community and their city to HBCU sports and to football in general from the SWAC. And they made us a great offer. That city, like the city of Dallas, is open armed, and they extended themselves to us, and it was a great experience last year. We had great weather. Southern was a little down last year, so there's a Southern campus there,
right?
And so, but the Southern fans didn't come out as well, but we still did just that 20,000. And for a startup venue classic down there where we don't have either school or representation that heavy, that was a great turnout. We expect to exceed that greatly this year, and the buzz is out there. Both schools are doing pretty well right now. Mm-hmm. Jackson's 25 in the FCS, so we're expecting some pretty exciting football down there.
Prairie View A&M Athletic Director Fred Washington, sir, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for meeting with me on such short notice, and good luck to you the rest of the season.